Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I wanted to show basically sort of what I'm carrying at the moment for work. I'm currently in the middle of doing a few different jobs. So I'm doing opera rehearsals, I'm doing some of my stationery industry stuff, as well as getting ready to go on tour. So I thought I would do a pre-tour what I carry for work, because it'll be very different in a couple of weeks time, and I'll be posting that one a little bit later. So what I thought I would mainly sort of talk about is the pens and paper and that kind of carry stuff. I'm not talking about wallets. I'm not talking about necessarily sort of tech gear. I'm definitely not talking about tools or anything to do with, what some people refer to as EDC. This is EDC for me as for work. So pens, paper, that kind of stuff, organizational kind of stuff, shall we say. So what I require for work is I require good notebooks, I require good pens, I need my laptop, and it all needs to be carried safely and well organized. So I'm going to talk through this little bundle of stuff. Let's start here. This is the Lamy Pocket Journal. This is the older one. I've had this one for a few years now. I've loved it. I've always loved it. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So let's have a quick look there. Okay, this is a pocket journal, sort of field notes size journal. I have two pens in the front, both from Wingback. I have the Wingback stainless steel fountain pen here, which is amazing. I'll do a quick writing sample with the fountain pens. There's only a couple sort of in the setup at the moment, but the Wingback, this is a great EDC pen. It's sort of rugged and robust. It fits beautifully in here, and it's always ready to go. And I have that into Diamond Oxford Blue. These pens both sit in their little Wingback sleeves in the pockets of the Lamy journal, simply because I keep the sleeves on hand because often I just want to carry just the pen, and it's a nice sort of convenient way of doing that. I also have the brass mechanical pencil here, which is just looking brilliant with that strong patina coming through. This is a 0.9. I currently have 2B leads in this. Generally speaking, with music, I prefer to write on music with a 2B pencil, so I currently have 2B leads in there, and they sit beautifully in the front of this. And as I said, this lives actually literally in my front pocket of my trousers. It's my wallet. It's kind of all of that stuff, as well as having a way of having like a notebook on hand and all my cards. So on this side, there's a couple of options for card carry. So you've got like individual card slots on the side there, which I put a couple of cards in, and then this sort of main pocket which carries all the rest of my cards. So things like my public transport cards, my Visa card, things like that. And then I have a field notes notebook. And yes, field notes are not fountain pen friendly, but I carry field notes because I just love them. And I also carry that beautiful mechanical pencil there, and that's what I use in here. I, just for the sake of the record, I've stolen a few things from other creators, of course, on how to do things nicely. So I carry a little thing of stickers behind the field notes. Every time I take a note, I color code it. So on the inside here, I just put the different sort of labels. So the yellow is for opera, red for stationery or content, green for life admin, and blue for shopping. And then I just put, as I take notes on things, and I'm just covering up because this is my life. This is actually what I use it for. I can put a dot next to it, and as I'm flipping through the notebook, I can find things related to that. It helps me find the topics a little bit easier. In the back of the notebook, I carry some business cards, because I have various business cards for various business. And then I stick in here an NFC little sticker tag thing, so that I can pass on contact details and social media details to other people just by them holding their phone against it. These are really inexpensive and easy to set up using particular apps and things. It's just a great way of, someone can just hold their phone up to the back of my notebook, and they can get a link to, all my sort of socials and an email address and all that kind of stuff. Just a super simple, easy way to transfer information, that sort of information, to people. So that's what I have in the Lamy Pocket Journal. I'll quickly say here, Lamy, there's a discount link or discount code for buying on the Lamy website in the video description here. I also have affiliate links to a range of the brands today. So for instance, the wingback pens here, and then I'll talk about the others as they sort of pop up. Then we'll go to my Galen Leather 3-pen leather flap pen case. I only have 2 pens in here at the moment. I'm sort of wearing my pens through. You can see it's a nice little ink stain, all that kind of stuff. That was a vanishing point, by the way. You know, stored in your butt, but once the button depressed, it sort of clicked on it, the nib came out, and yep, coloured my Galen. So in here I have the 5040 Titan. This is a wonderful, wonderful pen. Big solid pen, bulk filling system, number 8 size nib, just a really amazing pen. That's inked with Colorverse Atau. And then I have the Gravitas pens Piston Carbon Black, which is a piston filler, once again with a number 8 size nib. And I have this inked up with Montblanc Mysterious or Midnight Blue, I think it is. You can see the ink is running very low in there now. So once that's run through, that'll be cleaned and put away for while I'm on tour. I have very specific pens I take on tour. But this is a wonderful pen case. Galen Leather do amazing things. Great Gravitas pen, great 5040 pen there. And this case travels with me in my bag. They're well protected in here. And I like to have a couple of nice pens on hand for, you know, when the opportunity arises. Next, I have this, and this is a relatively recent addition to my sort of standard carry setup. This is a Midori notebook cover pencil case thing. I only keep 2 pens in here, pens I like to keep on hand. In the zippered section here, I have the Lamy Logo Plus in that beautiful orange, and in here I have the Lamy M17 Jetstream refill in the fine version. Great, easy access, wonderful ballpoint pen. I've always loved that pen body, and now that refill just makes it so much better. And then in here, I select 1 pen that I actually have on me. So this, while this comes with me to work, this basically goes with me everywhere. This is my organizer, my planner, all of that all in one. And I'm trying out the Everbook system at the moment for this. So this is the Cross Townsend. This has a nice sort of medium nib on it. This one is inked up with Montblanc Coal Blue, which is one of their Around the Earth in 80 Days inks. Beautiful ink and a great pen for it. And that lives in there and services more or less what is in here. So I take that off. And if you're not familiar with the Everbook system, I will be making a little video about it in the near future. Basically, you open it up and you have files organized. So once again, I'm not exactly going to show you what is on the pages, because this is my life. This is literally like my daily planning, records, finance, all that kind of stuff. But on this side, you have bundles. So I have a bundle for Japan 25, planning, opera, reviews, content, OA Tour 2025, which is the tour I'm about to go on. And I can store papers and forms and what I've written in those. I also carry a Life Stationery A5 notebook. This is one of the grid version. And this is like a catch-all for everything I sort of need to just jot down very quickly on paper. The way this system works is you have a bunch of blanks and things over on this side, and as you need to make a list or take notes or you're in a meeting or whatever, you take out a blank, you write it up, you know, this is just a A4 piece of paper folded over. This is beautiful Midori paper. I love this paper. I can take notes, I can do my daily to-do list, all of that kind of thing. It's all very clean and easy, nice system. And then this paper gets bundled into, like, you know, let's say I'm writing a review of the Everbook system. I then find the review folder. In fact, there is my notes about the Everbook system, and I can tuck it into this little plastic folder that I've made, and it gets stored away. And then when it's done, when the page is done, like the daily to-do list, instead of having that page taking up space in a notebook, I can remove that page, I can archive it if I need to, and I'm able to keep, you know, fresh what I need actually on me at any point, not the stuff that has, you know, passed. As an opera project finishes, I can take that entire bundle, you know, clip it up, put it away, and then start a new bundle for the next show. It's really a fun, easy system. And this is one that you can't get an official Everbook leather system. It's a couple of brands that sort of do them. I think Boss Leather and maybe Midori Creative. This is just one I made out of a big scrap piece of leather that I had already. I put a little pen loop in here with the Caran d'Ache 849 ballpoint in there, which I absolutely love. Two of my dear friends and colleagues at one of my jobs got me this for my birthday, and it is always with me. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So this system is really nice. As I said, I'll be making a more detailed video about the system in a little bit. I've used it now for a couple of months. I started just with a piece of cardboard, not leather, and then when I realized it was a system that worked for me, I moved up to leather. So this basically has taken the place of a physical planner. It's taken the place of, a bullet journal, that kind of stuff. I then have notebooks for other projects, like specific projects. For instance, whenever I have one for composition, I have one for teaching, and I take notes on all those things, and they're stored actually just off camera that way in a nice little like rack. And as I need them, I just take that and I continue that. But for this sort of everyday planning stuff or shorter term projects, this is a really awesome system, and you can put as much or as little as you want in there as you can. Like, I've carried bigger notebooks in there. In fact, this Life Stationery notebook has traveled with me in there a lot. This has some particularly like personal information in it about some stuff I'm working on at the moment. But that can easily be sort of tucked into one of those flaps, and that's one of the great things about the Everbook system. It can be what you need it to be. You can get an actual one, or you can make one yourself and tailor it to exactly what you need. And then lastly, we come to this. This is the Piorama Omni. The Omni is a laptop sleeve and desk organizer, 2-in-1 kind of setup. I love this as my laptop carry, but also I can keep all the bits and pieces I need, stationery, tech, all that kind of stuff, all contained in here, and then take this and put this on my desk. It's not quite fitting in the camera, but basically you've got a laptop sleeve in here. I have my, my 13-inch MacBook Pro in here. We don't need to see that. And then once the laptop is out, you can fold this over and little magnets hold it together. Makes a nice little desk caddy. I've done a review of this, which I'll link to below. Actually, I should say, Piorama is a brand that there is an affiliate link sort of down below as well. But the way this works is that you open up these flaps on the front to the pouches, and then you fold that down, and magnets hold that in place. And then you have a desk organizer. So you can't really see it from this angle, but this sits on your desk and gives you access to all the bits and pieces you need. My setup is fairly simple at the moment. I have a Orbit Key pencil case in here that just carries, pens and pencils. And then I have things like my AirPods and some ink cartridges, some washi tapes and things like that, and a razor all in there. There's plenty more room in here. I don't make as much use of this as I do at other times. Like on tour, this will be a big part of my setup. And then on the other side, I have a couple of cables, USB-C cables, things like that to charge devices, all that kind of stuff. And then a Baron Fig notebook. Now, this one has been used a lot. This is my standard rehearsal notes notebook. It's slightly bigger than like a B6 size. I find a blank page. I really like this paper. It's kind of toothy and sort of slightly absorbent, so ink dries on it quite quickly. Once again, link down in the description. I've done reviews of a lot of these products as well, which you can find on my channel. But it's a really good notebook for this because I find it to be, as I said, good quality paper that's nice and absorbent, and that fits really nicely in the back of that pouch there. So that is the Piorama Omni, which is my laptop sleeve and sort of desk organizer. And here, when I get home from work, this goes out on my desk, and I'm able to then, have access to all my bits and pieces. Well, I can't talk about how much I love Midori paper without using Midori for the writing sample. So we'll start with the Cross Townsend here. This one just has a steel medium nib, and the ink in this is Montblanc Coal Blue. And as I said, that's from the Around the World in 80 Days sort of setup or kit. It's a really interesting sort of darky blue, navy colored ink that dries quite grey. I think it's absolutely brilliant. And in this pen, which writes nice and wet, it's nice and convenient because it's slim, it's comfortable and reliable. This is a great pen and ink combo. Okay, then into the Galen here. We'll get these two big pens out. We'll start with the 5040 here, which is starting to get a little low on ink. It's been inked a long time. Just open up the valve there. We have the 5040 Titan with this is once again a steel. It's a very expensive pen for a steel nib, but it is a cracking pen, and the engineering and everything is absolutely astounding. It's once again a medium. They're all medium pens today, and the ink is Colorverse. Atau. This is a very cool ink. It's sort of like one of those sort of red-brown sort of colored inks, and I love seeing it in the body of that pen. But you can see this pen just writes magically. Nice, big, generous nib, smooth and beautiful on the page. An absolute joy to write with. As is this, the Piston Carbon Black from Gravitas Pens. This has a steel medium nib, and the ink in this it's another Montblanc, sort of MB, you know that means Montblanc, and it is Midnight Blue. Getting a few little hard start skips. That may be because the pen is now getting quite low on ink. It has been written with a heck of a lot. I absolutely love this pen. It writes relatively wet. It writes smooth. It's not super broad medium line either, which is quite nice. But it's also just a gorgeous pen and feels amazing in the hand. I'm really looking forward to reviewing that one. And then lastly, one of my absolute favorite pens, the Wingback fountain pen in stainless steel. Also running slightly low on ink. But here we have the Wingback fountain pen, and it's in stainless steel. It also comes in brass and a couple of other materials. And this has a steel Bock medium. I have done just a little bit of work on this nib. It was beautiful. It wrote consistently and reliably, all of that kind of stuff. I just did a little bit of work to open it up and make it just a little bit wetter. Bock nibs in general tend to write just slightly on the drier side, but I never had a problem with the pen, and I still absolutely don't. I think it's brilliant. And the ink in this is a diamine, and most of you know exactly which diamine this is, knowing me. It is Oxford Blue. One of my favorite inks, and this pen lives in my pocket. As I showed it, I've got it here next to me, sits in my wallet. I carry this everywhere. If I need a pen, this is the pen I just quickly pull out and use. That's the joy of a pen like this. And this one writes just impeccably well. So that's the 4 fountain pens I currently have in my daily carry. I have a few more inked. I have maybe 5 or 6 more inked at the moment, and they mainly stay at home. They're in my Galen Leather Magnum Opus case. But in terms of what's actually coming to work with me and in my pocket and all that kind of stuff, this is where we are right now. So that was a quick walkthrough of what I carry in my bag for work and sort of daily life. Or in my pocket. Also, a good chance for me to sort of show you those pens and write with them. You You can see it's not a super elaborate setup, but it is very tailored to what I do and what I need, and that's what I enjoy about it. So I hope you found something in this interesting and useful. Please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button, all that kind of stuff. If you've got products you think I should be looking at, or if there's a way you would like to support the channel, I would love to hear from you. In the meantime, enjoy your carry items, whatever they may be, and I'll talk to you soon.